Good afternoon, everyone. We're getting things ready here. Hold on. I noticed that I had like not even pulled out the set, so that's why it's over there in the back. Last time I was asking like, oh, I don't have any like production like stuff that I need to read out, and I remembered that literally comes with a guide to the movies. Like, it's right here. You could just read stuff from here. So, like, I'm kind of shit myself with that. You know, kind of fucked myself over with that. But yeah, we're here. We're ready for another episode of Between the Frames. Let's just wait until like, what's it called? It's 1 o'clock, so that way my tweak and oh, it's already 1 o'clock. Cool. So let's go ahead and get ready here. Let me check the music, make sure it's not too loud. Of course, you should always go and check out David B's music. David B is incredible. He's freaking awesome, and love that guy. Let's go ahead and just check through here, make sure that I'm not like missing anything. Yeah. It's interesting though. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna like what's it called? Read through this whole thing, but like, you know, this is so well made. Like the way that they kind of like do the whole like structuring of the booklet itself is pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and enough of that. Let me go ahead and pull up the Criterion description. But I hope everyone's doing okay and getting ready here. Let me just go ahead and pull this up. There we go. Awesome. So just pull it back over. Yes, awesome. Okay, as always, we are back again for another episode of Between the Frames. Every weekday, every week on a Monday, we talk about another film, and as of late, we've been making our way through the. Hold on, my God, really forgot to grab the set. And as of late, we've been making our way through the Essential Fellini box set from Criterion. Last week we did Variety Lights, and then this week we are doing the White Sheik from 1952. Oh, hello, Rachel. Hello. I saw your text. I saw that you just woke up. Thanks for coming to the stream. Hope you're having a good afternoon and start to your day. But yes, we are going to be talking about the White Sheik today, and the White Sheik is from 1952. Is Federico Fellini's first film as a solo director. Because last week, Variety Lights was directed by him and Antonio Laduata. I can't remember his name, but you know, it was a different director with him co-directing it. This is his first outing as a solo director, and from here we start getting like into more of his like, you know, well-known films, because like next week we get to talk about I Vitelloni, and then we start doing like La Strada, Il Bidone, Nights of Cabiria, Dolce Vita and a half, and all that, right? You know, you start really getting into like Fellini's like famous career of his career. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna be talking about that one today. Last week's episode was pretty good, and we talked about Variety Lights, and I can't wait to give you all my my thoughts on the White Sheik. So, without a further ado. Also, I think I'll just, what's it called, I mean, I don't have a share screen option here, because it's not like I'm using StreamYard, right? I'm using, what's it called, but I'll make sure to give you all an updated rank list today, because I didn't give it to you all last week. But, you know, some of these rank lists are kind of like a little bit mismatched, you know. Some of these movies, like Toby Dammit is at a specific place because that was what I gave it and how I had it ranked compared when I watched Toby Dammit for the first time, when I watched it in my class. But, you know, maybe once I rewatch like the restoration, I'm going to think differently about, you know, about Toby Dammit. But yes. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. Let me go ahead and read the synopsis from the Criterion Essential Fellini site on Criterion.com. Federico Fellini drew upon his background as a cartoonist for his first solo feature, a charming comic fable about the lure of fantasy and the pitfalls of temptation. In Rome for her honeymoon, a wide-eyed newlywed, Brunella Bovo, sneaks away from her straight-laced groom, Leopoldo Trieste, and goes in search of the White Sheik, Alberto Sordi, the dashing hero of a photographed comic strip of which she is enamored, but soon discovers that her romantic ideal may be only an illusion. Featuring a memorable appearance by Giulietta Massina, playing the character she would reprise in Nights of Cabiria, and Fellini's first collaboration with composer Nino Rota, the White Sheik finds the director already taking up one of his favorite themes, the alchemical interplay between life and art, imagination, and reality. This is the second restoration that they did on this set, I don't think that this is when because this is filmed on location, so he hasn't like started, filming at Cinecittà, but he filmed on location for this. But yes, this is one of the 4K digital restorations, and I'll go into that right now. Let me just go ahead and put this down. Poopy. Rachel says poopy. Oh man, let me go ahead and just pull my chat back up. All right, cool. Yeah, so this one, what's it called? It's the second 4K digital restoration of his films. Let me see if there's anything I can like bring up here. If it has anything like, any info pulled up here. It doesn't give me. Oh yes, I forgot. So this was the one that was kind of produced by Michelangelo Antonioni. They had apparently first approached Antonioni to direct this picture, and Antonioni just didn't feel like he could do it, like that he didn't want to do it, and therefore Fellini actually ended up approaching this one. And it's really interesting because I kind of start thinking about like, how exactly would Michelangelo Antonioni make this film? Because it would have been a way different film if Antonioni made it. But for anybody who has never actually watched Antonioni's films, they're very, very interesting, and they have like a specific style to them, and it's it's definitely something to look at when you think about how he would have approached this film, and it's quite interesting, honestly. But Fellini ended up doing this one, and he approaches this one, and he does his first solo outing as a director. And I want to say that last week I said how Fellini doesn't really know his style yet, and he's kind of figuring it out within Variety Lights. But I still liked what he did with the film, along with the other director and what they did together. On this one, I like this film. I don't think I like it as much as Variety Lights though, and this one kind of feels like it feels too short to be a Fellini picture. If you get what I mean, like. I don't think that Fellini takes as much time as he would like, and I'm gonna guess that it's because of really about how much the studio's kind of breathing down his neck, but also it's his first time directing a solo film, so you pick and choose your battles really. But I think that there's things in here the cinematography specifically, how he's kind of starting to understand how he wants to make films and his specific style. And really the worlds of imagination, art, but reality and the fantastical kind of start to blend together, and you're in this beautiful sense of what is real, what isn't, what feels real to the film, what doesn't feel real. It's what Fellini starts to really understand like what he wants to do, but it isn't quite as fleshed out as like you would say when you watch like Netsukabiria or like Dolce Vita and 8.5. Like he really starts to really understand his style, and he's like really traversed into the intricacies of his style. I will say though, like this is the first time he starts working with Nino for the score, and God, just beautiful score from Nino. I mean, Federico Fellini's career, he's like he constantly works with like some of the same people. Like, of course, Dino and him made a lot of movies together, but he always worked with Nino. He always worked with Leo Catozzo for the editing, and of course, he had his son of his cinematographers that he loved to work with, and they kind of do help create a lot of the environment and the atmosphere of what Fellini is doing within the picture. And and part of that is because of the incredible composer that is Nino Rota. I mean, Nino's scores are just absolutely beautiful. I mean, one of my favorite scores of him is the Cabiria score, and then of course 8.5 has like some really like memorable songs, and Amarcord has a lot of memorable songs. But this is like the first time that he works with Nino, and then of course he reuses some of the score here in La Strada. He comes back to La Strada, and he reuses some of this some of the score. Yeah. So I forgot. Antonioni did not produce this. It was actually, the story was from him, Federico, and Tullio Pinelli. Yeah. Arturo Galea. I don't think this is like one of his only films that he works with Fellini. I think that after this, like, he starts using more of his constant the people that he works with most of the time. And I liked a lot of the things that I like a lot of the things that he's doing here. Of course, you get that neo-realist cinematography. Like, you get those shots where they film parts of of Rome, and you really start to get to know, like, of course, Federico's eternal Rome, his eternal Rome, the eternal city of Rome, and how much he loves kind of like making films within there. And he really starts to it's really like photograph that as beautifully as he usually does. I love some of the characters we get here. I really like the oddly enough, as like kind of what's the word I'm trying to say? The White Sheik isn't really as fantastical as you would think, right? He's really just like, he is like this beautiful, cartoon figure from the strips, the comic strips that she reads come to life, but like he's also has this like very humanistic vibe to him that's not really, it's not really just this comic character that I see on my newspapers is coming to life. There's also other things that come up about him that kind of create the conflict between our main protagonists, and that's why I really like the White Sheik, even though he's not the Fellini character we see. Like he's no Marcello Marcello in Dolce Vita. He's no Guido in 8.5. He's no Cabiria. He's really like half fantastical, half human, because a lot of his thematic discussions within this film is just like this idea of like formative desire, from what is the unknown, and not being able to confront that, and then when it is confronted, it is something other than what you expected. It's like really not what you wanted, and it's like now you've kind of put yourself into a position where in this film the protagonist has left her has gone away and like kind of left stood up her husband, and then when she notices that like, you know, that the White Sheik isn't everything cut out that he's cut out to be, she you know, she feels regret and she wants to fix things with her husband. Well, her husband doesn't really care, like he just wants to make sure he doesn't look bad in front of the, you know, his family. Hold on, let me just get a drink of water here. Yeah, and I like that. I love the Cabiria scene. It's Giulietta Messina is such an incredible director. You know, she's what's it called? She's a character actor, incredible actress. Like she's so full of life and vibrancy. You know, she just there's no other like person to me who works so well other than of course Marcello Mastroianni. You know, who else works so well with Federico, and Giulietta's like one scene she like steals most of the show, and obviously with this film is what's it called, convinced the studio that he can make Knights of Gabiria, and like it really sold the studio on Giulietta Messina, and it really inspired Federico to write and finish writing Knights of Gabiria, which to me it's like, oh, you took you this movie because like in Variety Life she's incredible, she's beautiful, she's eccentric, she's very charismatic, and she poses some incredible performances in that movie, but in here she plays her iconic character of Gabiria, and you know, just how like out of like the loop she is of like what like people do and how they are supposed to treat each other, but also just like her sense of what's the word I'm trying to say, her curiosity, her sense of curiosity, and how she loves kind of talking, but also likes to help others, but you know, in a way just kind of stay true to herself and be. God damn! Thank you for the follow, Harry. Damn, Harry. And hey, Griffin, how are you doing? Hope you're doing all right. Look at that, Clint Eastwood from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And how she just feels so, brought to life. And of course, like, they obviously improve upon the character and really give her righteous, you know, her opportunity to really shine within Knights of Cabiria. But I just really loved how she showed up in this film. Harry and Griffin, how are we doing today? How's everybody doing? Hope everyone's doing all right. I'm so how you been? I've been okay. We're talking about the White Sheik from Federico Fellini, from this awesome set, from the Criterion set that I have here. I'm been all right. Just kind of passing through the day, trying to figure out the scheduling for the content that I make and all that, and just waiting for the update on a potential gig that I'm going to be working at. So just having a good time passing by. You know, what have you been up to? And Harry, I know you're in here. What you been up to? Yeah, and the editing, like, so this is something that really kind of like, you know, not bothered me per se, just really kind of confused me. The film is broken up into two parts. Like, even like in the middle it says end of part 1, and then we start going into part 2. It was just so odd. I don't know if it was because these are the original negatives that were, you know, taken, like when they were on the DVD or in Laserdisc, like it was done differently from Criterion, but I was just really confused as to why it was like broken up into part 1 and part 2. It's not even like a 3-hour film, like there wouldn't be a need for an intermission. It's just oh god, my camera just shake like that. That's not good. You know, it's not even like it's worth of an intermission, so it was just really odd as to why there was like a breakup of a part 1 and a part 2 within the film. I'm great, man. About to go set up stream in a bit and play some games. That's right, bro. Hey, that's good. What's it called? Depending on what viewership looks here, I'll go ahead and just raid you right now when we're done here. Yeah. I saw that you were streaming yesterday, Griffin. Hope that it went well. I wasn't able to stop by because I had to watch this film, but hope that you had a great time, and hope that you've been having a fun time with your streams. I know that you're running a giveaway at the moment. So hold on, y'all go and help and go and follow Griffin, and I'm pretty sure in her bio she has her Twitter set up in there, so she go and check out her Twitter because she is running a giveaway of sorts. Let me drop link in here, and I know a lot of people would be interested. I am speaking slowly and not sure what I'm saying because I'm trying to. There we go. That's right, Griffin XX Demon. Go and follow her, Griffin, and check out her giveaway that she's running. Yeah. But yeah, I think that when it comes to like this film, of course, like like I said, I like the score, the restoration. So this is another one that I never saw this one, on its original DVD. I had never watched this film before at all. This was the first time that I watched the White Sheik, and I had never, actually, seeked out the original restoration of this one. So I did not know what this looked like. I want to say that this probably was the one that was a little difficult to like clean up, because there was parts where you could tell like, oh, it's the what's it called? There's a lot of grain that's left in there, and it's kind of a little messy, but like it's because of course the negatives are old. Rachel and I kind of have been talking about this. We were talking about how like, we don't really like when films like, when Criterion wants to clean up everything, right? And like, wants to change the quality like in so much where we start to lose the fact that this originally was done in the year that it was done. And, there still needs to be left this authenticity that relates back to the time that this film was made. So, the restoration is beautiful, right? But, it's not like a really like clear picture. It's still grainy. It's still, the darks are really dark within there, when it's very contrasty, but it's well done restoration process. Some grain sounds like fun. I'm a fan of grain, bro. I don't think grain is all that bad. I think because I'm just, I love my film. I love film. What's it called? 35 and all that. I love when it's grainy, but like, sometimes, which films you're watching, like from the olden days, like they're really, really fucking grainy, and you can tell. There's some editing stuff in here that like I wasn't a really big fan of the editing, but the film itself was still, interesting, and I really like enjoyed my time watching it. But I won't say that this is Federico's best work. I think that this is really him, like his stepping stones, like really starting to form that style of his. But let me get some drink of water. Oh man, I like film grain. I don't care for fake, but film grain on digital. Yeah, exactly. On digital, it just doesn't look. Yeah, like I get it, like adding a little bit, but like when it's like authentic to the film stock, that's when it's right for me. Like so many people are like, oh, Matrix is so grainy. Matrix is so grainy. I'm like, Matrix was shot on film. What do you want? It's gonna be grainy. Like there's no way for freaking Matrix to not look grainy. It's literally shot on film. There's no way for it not to. So like, but like, there's obviously some films that they add the grain in, and it's on a digital camera. It's like, we know that this is not, what's it called? Like that, we know this is not how it looks. Yeah, and Matrix looks amazing. Yeah, Matrix looks great. Yeah. If people are like, oh, it's just too green, it's too grainy. I'm like, that's the film stock they're using, though. Like, that's how it's supposed to look, and it works for the movie a lot. But I always, I'm always kind of like surprised at like how people forget that like the film stock is grainy. It's gonna look like that. It's not gonna look super clean like digital. It's gonna look a little messy. So when we kind of restore these, it's kind of difficult, to really restore like all that, but you still kind of keep the integral parts of the film there. So, and that's why I honestly just appreciate Criterion so much. Criterion does this stuff that's just, they're able to take these old films, but like restore them enough to like we have somewhat of a clear audio and a clear picture, but you're not losing everything. You're not losing everything, and it's just it's what I feel like. It's what I feel like that they excel the best in. Of course, not just like preserving films and making sure that these films have releases, but like they're also making sure that they keep the integral parts of the movie still there. And I think that that's kind of like what you're getting with here with this beautiful set from Criterion. And yeah, I wish I had more to say about this film, but like, I really, what's it called? I enjoy my time, but this isn't really one that like I was like really surprised by, that really kind of blew me away. Last week's was, I just really liked it. I really like Variety Lights because it's just that whenever like Federico kind of like begins to tackle like the variety shows, the circus, and you get all these full of life films from Federico and how he loves like all this stuff. In here it's like, yes, he's kind of grabbing into like that stuff that he likes to talk about with like art and imagination, but like it doesn't feel Fellini-esque, right? The last one felt a lot more Fellini-esque than this one, but of course it is 52. The neo-realist movement still isn't like completely done, and people are still recording out in public, and they're still taking cameras to the streets and recording people in there. So he wasn't filming inside Cinecittà. He was filming on location, and I think that still brought some form of like magic to the films. Like the whole time when we see the husband just roaming the streets of Rome. That's funny. Roaming the streets of Rome. When he's just walking those streets alone at night and just trying to find his wife, you really get that magic. And of course with Nino Rota's score, it just takes you back to like Dolce Vita, and when Marcello and I can't remember her name, are walking the streets, and you feel that magic in the air. It's just, he improves so much. There's so many bits and pieces in here where you feel those strengths of Federico Fellini and what they're going to end up becoming later in his career. But it's his foundation, and because of that, I really respect this film and I really like it. But I can't say that this is my favorite film from Federico Fellini. God, man, my throat just. I love doing this stuff, but like, damn, my throat gets dry whenever I do this. But Harry, quick question: did you pick up the Memories of Murder Criterion, or are you waiting for the sale? Because I'm waiting for the sale next week for next month for a lot of things. Yeah, I'm trying to get Memories of Murder soon. Oh man. Let me see if I can find anything. Like, I just kind of surprised by the fact that there was just no like actual production like notes here. Oh man. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. I'm telling you, that sale can't come here soon enough, man. I want to get that one. I want to finish up these Tarkovsky movies that I'm not done like buying yet. I just need to get Mirror and Ivan's Childhood, and I'll have all the Criterion ones. But yeah, I want to get that. I want to get Memories of Murder. That restoration, when I watched it, dude, that restoration looked amazing. That shit looked great. So clean, dude. So freaking clean. And also just Memories of Murder is amazing. That movie's amazing. I'll make sure when we discuss that movie on Between the Frames, if you want to come on and talk with me about it, we can talk about it. Fucking movie is great, dude. Let me see if anything was director for Alberto Lapada, of course. So yeah, originally the treatment of the White Sheik was written by Michelangelo Antonioni. Carlo Ponti commissioned Fellini and Tullio Pinelli to develop the treatment. It was satirical in nature, targeting the trashy fotomanzi comic strips that were extremely popular in Italy when the film was made. The male lead, Leopoldo Triesti, a playwright who did not consider himself an actor, reluctantly auditioned for Fellini. During the audition, Fellini asked him to compose a sonnet that the lead character would have written to his wife. The poem, which begins, "She is graceful, sweet, and tweeny," was included in the film. Yeah, Okay, yeah, I know Socabirios, yeah, thing. So, also, this is something that we start to like really understand. Like, as great as we think about these movies are right now, that's not how they did at the time that these movies came out. Like, these are like, I'm looking at this right here as, me right now in the year 2021, knowing the career of Federico Fellini and loving the career of Federico Fellini. These movies don't do good when they come out. Like, they don't make enough money, and, of course, the next one is going to be like, one that like really starts like that promise for Federico and really like shows off his strengths, but it's still not commercially a big success. It's enough of a success for him to get another picture, but like, even though these are films that are like really starting to pick up steam for him and really do well for his career is kind of in jeopardy throughout these films because they're not making enough. And remember, like, it isn't until La Dolce Vita that his career gets saved, because if it wasn't for Dolce Vita, Federico's career would have stopped right there. If La Dolce Vita does bad, Federico Fellini no longer has a career. Yeah, his movies would have not been made. He would have had to stop right there because his movies just were not making the money to pay back the investors and the producers. So, these films are amazing, but I also think back and I'm like, I look at these films and I'm like, I understand why these movies didn't do as good as they did back then. These are great watching them right now because we know with the career of Federico, but like, you have an up and coming director who's like really, whose first time making the film, and you watch it and it's like, yeah, this probably did not hit with audiences the way that Federico and like the studios intended it to. And it's why, Federico kind of has some hiccups going on, and it's why his career ends up kind of reaching that stale, like that, not stale, like it reaches that point where it's like, this movie needs to do good or else I'm not going to have a career after. And of course, there's some films in between this one and Dolce Vita that of course help Federico, because La Strada wins the best foreign language film that year. What's it called? I believe Giulietta Giulietta gets nominated for Best Actress as well. Technica wins Best Foreign Language as well. There's those little cushions that help out Federico, but like, his movies still don't make enough money to really bounce him off and really shoot him up to the moon as he does with Dolce Vita. So like, I kind of thought about that as I was watching. I kept watching. I was like, I understand why Federico's career was kind of being halted so many times, because like, these movies were not going to do well when they released. Yeah. Next week we're going to talk about his next film. Let me check what year it is. His next film, 1953's I Vitelloni. Here's the thing with with Fellini, like, this is when he really starts, like, of course, getting into like that Fellini-esque nature, and he really starts to like create films that like start to like really, stand the test of time. He also makes films with titles of words that don't even exist, and those words end up becoming words in the English in the dictionary over there, because they mean something. So next week we are going to watch. I'm going to watch and discuss on Monday. We can discuss his next film, I Vitelloni. I Vitelloni is. Let's see if anybody who we recognize comes back to next week's film. I Vitelloni, directed of course from directed by Federico Fellini, produced no Dino yet, screenplay by Federico, Ennio Flaiano, and Tullio Pinelli. Of course, Pinelli is still working with him. Flaiano, I believe, is the one who constantly works with he constantly worked with Fellini until like him they just stopped working after 8.5. Yeah, it's going to be starring Alberto Sordi. Alberto Sordi coming back again from this film. Franco Favesi, yeah. Of course, Nino Rota coming back for the score, and the same editor from this film. Wow. Okay. Yeah. With that said, it's been a lot of fun, and I will catch you guys next week when we look at Vitelloni from Federico Fellini, the next film on this incredible set. I'm telling y'all, this set is beautiful. This incredible stuff here, guys. Great set. It's just big. It's like really big. It takes up like a really big spot in my shelf, but I'm having so much fun watching these films. I'm loving just watching these films from Federico and like really see that career of his that like starts growing and forming throughout it. But yeah. I'll see you guys next week. It's been a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and see. We got 2 people here. I can probably send y'all to somebody. Let's see if Harry already started streaming. Let's go. Nobody is on. Let's try to find somebody. Okay, let me go back to my chat. Let's try to find somebody to raid. I got time to find somebody. Should we raid somebody who is talking about movies or what? Yeah, let's try to find somebody in here. Talk shows and podcasts. A lot of French, which is not a bad thing, but like I'm seeing a lot of French podcasts here. It's wild how a lot of podcasts here. Wow, that's wild. It's freaking cool though. I like it. What about this one? Oops.
I gotta go on a trip.
Got drafted.
Let's try to find someone. Oh, I found this great nerd culture based podcast here, but it's in Slovak. Y'all don't know Slovak. Let's see. Check. Oh my god. Which, by the way, guys, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that there's international streams. It's just that I wouldn't know how to have y'all interact with them because y'all don't know these languages. Let's see. Let's just go and check the just chatting. Oh, I think I found someone. Let's go ahead and raid Shayla Jennings. They're talking. They're doing some good old just chatting, and they're packing apparently for their trip. Shayla Jennings. All right, y'all. Hope y'all have a wonderful time. Go and you know, do your thing over there and say hi. I will see you all next week for our discussion on I Vitelloni, and hopefully, we have a lot more to say than the film was really good. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all next week. Goodbye.